Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 9th of May, and well, we're tracking pretty much exactly in line with our expectations. We had the positive extreme that we've been talking about from right back here was the most recent one. That gave us the low around 62, and the primary one down at 44.50. We achieved 58, so there's still more room on that, and you can see with the full reset here of the DOC red, pretty much in line with that, particularly given the midterm buyers continuing to fade within this. The short-term buyers have been enough to keep things from being dramatic. We were looking for this move right here around the 50%, which happens to be exactly the low retest of that. So we're pretty close to that marker. Pretty much consistent. Now we've just had a cross of the steel above red, which we usually look for at the beginning of any short beginning to cease. The next level would have to be the steel crossing above that cyan up here. Not there yet, so continuation of the decline still looks to be in place. From a NASDAQ standpoint, well, we get the same situation going back over here. That would call for a low 74.28 range. And that 50% reading right there is down at 22. A little bit lower, so it's closer to in between, just a little bit above that range from that positive extreme. So you might get a little carry through kind of situation. Again, weren't expecting a whole lot from the euro here, though it is starting to break into a new zone, so the potential for it to begin a little bit of a spike. There's a possibility. It's just you've had a little softening of short-term buyers, and that's just keeping it right around that 23%. Nothing too exciting. Gold, we recognized there was potential for a move up, and it did. Just couldn't sustain it. That's just that flat line of midterm buyers and failing short-term buyers. But there's been accumulation going on. You can see it through the red DOC right there. From an intraday standpoint, you got to be just loving these ranges. Are just perfect for what we look for. We started off the day with a beautiful DOC spread right there as we dipped below the red right here on rising steel. That gave us a little bit of pop, which is exactly what we want to see above that cyan. It's something we talked about the other day on the video. And then boom, the breakdown signal. And immediately crossed with the steel and gave the warning of the end of that decay. Right about this crossover point, it continued to go through because we didn't have a orange dip down for the crossover. That didn't occur till later. The fact that it was so deep didn't really create a secondary buy until right about this range, and even that still was pretty soft going through until a secondary dip of the orange right about here, and this time we were on positive shakeout levels at that particular point, and that led to sporadic, but needless to say, solid continuation rise. Within it, we ended up with a little bit later buys, in fact, several of them that came in between these softening readings. And that brought us up to the 100%, where we ended up with, again, DOC red, and this failure of red to get significantly above the zero and hold it is really the key, what we look for. And this one rolled over pretty darn fast on that connection, and then stayed pretty weak throughout there. Again, same situation with that crossover red. The steel coming above red right there, you're warning that, hey, maybe you've reached the bottom of your dip, and then looking for the steel crossover right there. And as soon as that steel begins its fade, this is one of those things to look for. Here we had green above cyan, so you have to wait a little bit on it. And then right there where they started to reject to the negative side, and that led to this most recent decay. So just very happy with the extreme increase in volatility. It's been right on line with what we were looking for, and producing some really nice range moves within the signals. So not much more to add than that. The daily is doing exactly as we expected. We're getting nice intraday bounces in between that provide opportunities to take advantage of it. All good. As always, though, I will keep updating you on anything that's unique or necessary, but covering these key points about the red DOC at 0 point, as well as that changeover of green above cyan when they occur. We can see how these turnarounds and little pops within broader short signals occur, and I think that's exactly what you want, the ability to really see from a close range exactly how the market dynamic changes within an intraday move. As always, though, trade well, and we will talk again later.